Kevin Doty. The 7th row, Jack Hewitt and Jimmy McCune. Ryan Newman and Jeff Sands make up row number 8. In the 9th row, it's Chris Schultz and David Bridges. The 10th row, Carl Olson and Nate Law. The 11th row, Mark Boyce and Jeff Howerton. Cars number 42 and 22. And Robbie Flock will also join the field in car number 6. And Jeff Howerton is not on the racetrack. There he is.
He is already out. He's got his helmet off, and that does not look good for him. He's a young man that came out here with a lot of high hopes. Of course, his father, Jackie Howerton, and here's Mark Boyce. He also is pulled into the pits before the start of the race. So a couple of guys having trouble before the green flag even falls.
Young man from Noblesville, Indiana, who was going to be in only his 2nd midget race here tonight, but it looks like that'll have to wait for another time.
Yeah, it's a tough break for those guys. You travel a long ways. You have a lot of high hopes, especially young guys like that haven't run too much, and it's very, very tough for them to have a break like this. And I guess we're getting a report that Robbie Flock also is pulled into the garage area. So we've got 3 fatalities here in the car realm before we get going.
But the pace car is off the track, and we are getting set for 34 laps of midget racing at Richmond on Thunder, and we are underway. And look at the scramble into turn number 1. This is a nice wide racetrack, and they take up every inch of it. 3 wide into the corner.
3 and 4 breaths going down that main straightaways. It looks like Kenny Irwin has got the lead into the first corner.
Yep, Kenny Irwin is going to come off corner number 4 and be the leader. And Stewart is running in 2nd position.
So the Steve Lewis cars, starting from the 3rd row on back, have emerged as the first 2 guys to finish that first lap. What a move by both of those guys.
John Cox is running in 3rd position. Now Doug Kalita goes by on a nice move to the inside. That's Kalita in the blue car number 21, who just shot into 3rd position.
Well, he went in there. He got all sideways as he shot past those guys, but he did make the car stick. As you saw the 16 car, Kenneth Nichols, that greenish-colored car right there, he got a little twitchy.
And there's Ryan Newman as he tries to bide his time here in the early going and let the traffic settle down and then find a spot to move up later in the race.
And you can see his head moving around from that camera shot. His head's jiggling when he hit those bumps. He got down on the yellow to get a little rough.
That looks like Barth got a little bit sideways in that yellow number 14 car there in the 2nd corner, but everything is well. And look at Doug Kalita come up on Tony Stewart to challenge him for 2nd position. Again, it's Irwin leading. Stewart is 2nd, and Kalita is running 3rd in the black and blue number 21.
Chris Schultz in the 70 cars pulled into the pit area. Looks like his day is done, but you're right. Kalita really seems to be hauling that car into turn 3 a lot harder than anybody else. Letting it go up in the middle, kind of diamonding down off and getting a big run down this long D-shaped front straightaway. And it seems to be working very, very well for him.
John Cox, Tracy Hines there in 7. That's Kenneth Nichols in 16, and Mishner in car number 2 as they battle for the 5th, 6th, and 7th position.
Did I hear Tony Stewart say the car that he and Larry Curry owned a little earlier? Is he a part owner of the car that Andy Mishner is running?
Well, Larry Curry is the crew chief for the Menard IndyCar stable, and he owns this number 2 that Mishner is driving. It's carrying the Menard colors. Here's a really good race. 4 cars, actually 5 cars, as now John Cox and the others catch up a little bit to Doug Kalita, who has dropped back a little bit from Tony Stewart running in 2nd position. So perhaps Kalita's heated up the tires a little bit.
Exactly what I was going to say, Bob. I think all that bonsai, those really quick moves into 3 might have cost him something in the tire department. You can only get those tires so hot before they start going away, and then you have to slow down and let them cool off. He probably very badly needs a yellow to help cool that right rear tire down right now. As you can see, a little bit of smoke, a little haze coming off of it as he comes off of turn 4.
You can see, indeed, that on the left side of the car, a little bit of smoke coming from the 2 car of Andy Mishner. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all of the line down the backstretch. Tracy Hines looks to the inside of John Cox. They run side by side through the corner. Meanwhile, Ryan Newman has a pretty good battle going with Jeff Sands. Now back to this little tussle between John Cox and the 7 car of Tracy Hines.
Tracy Hines is a young man that really didn't start racing as early as his brother and his father. He kind of delayed the start for a long, long time. His dad got him going, and look at this. He's down to the inside of John Cox this time. He makes it stick. John Cox moves up, trying to carry enough momentum to get around him, but he couldn't do it. Hines made that pass look pretty nice.
Tracy Hines to fourth, John Cox back to fifth, and Dave Despain, we're seeing a little bit of attrition here in the early going. Several cars are back there in the garage area with you.
Just real quick, Boyce's car simply wouldn't fire. Bridges' car started, shook a little bit, and the engine was sounding bad. They checked and there's water in the oil and asked about the ownership on that Menard Midget. Larry Curry said no, Tony Stewart does not own part of that car.
Caution is out on the racetrack. The yellow flag is being displayed. We don't see any particular problem. Could be a little bit of oil on the track or perhaps debris in some location. In any case, the caution comes out. And that's really a break for Doug Coletta because Tracy Hines passed him. Oh, there's the reason for the caution. It's Nate Law who's up against the outside wall.
Yes.
Turn number 3.
Yes, Nate Law obviously got the front end in there. You can see the right front wheel and the black marks on the wall. Not a good sign for him. He did get up there and got into the wall. Looks like pretty hard as the black marks show you right there to the right of the Goodyear sign.
I was about to say because of the caution they go back to the previous lap, and Doug Coletta will go back into third, although Tracy Hines passed him before we did go.
Really made a move early, and then he kind of fell back when these tires got hot. Tracy Hines started getting around him, so it's going to be interesting to see if this period helped him to cool the tires, and he's going to be faster.
All right, let's see what happens as the field begins to accelerate off the fourth corner, looking for the green flag and a restart. They get it, and look at Coletta and Stewart both.
Coletta got a terrific start. He hung back, got on the throttle real early, almost pulled out the pass, but look at Stewart. He's sideways inside his teammate, almost got together with him.
Oh, man, what a move by Tony Stewart. He didn't gain anything by it. In fact, he may have heated up the tires, but he maintained second position. So now it is Irwin, Stewart, and Coletta, all three right together. They leave Tracy Hines a little bit behind them, and Coletta now looks to the outside of Tony Stewart.
What he did was get Kenny Irwin's attention enough to make him stand up in the seat a little bit here, because he knows now that this thing is not going to be easy. Stewart is right on him and coming after him very, very hard. Look at Coletta. He's making another move to the inside. This D shape is kind of deceiving for the drivers. It looks like you've got a line to get around a guy getting into one, but in reality, oh, look at Coletta. He blew the engine big time. Oh, and a big upside down.
And a big fire as the fuel cell obviously let go, and we see one driver jumping out quickly. Man, that was a hard hit taken. Was it Hines that...
Oh, there's some more fuel going off out of the 7 car.
And look at everybody scrambling out of their cars, though.
You can see the drivers. It looks like there's one more getting out. I think that just should be all of them that have gotten out of their cars. We've got one on fire out there. One guy that's still got his feet on fire.
At least a little bit of fire there on the lower part of his leg.
Where's the fire trucks?
Here comes the safety crew, but look at what's going on over in turn number 2. Boy, this is just a very, very bad situation. The red flag has been displayed, and the race has been stopped. And now they're trying to maneuver other cars away from the major fire so they won't catch fire, because we have a lot of fuel that has been spilled on the racetrack itself.
Well, that was Tracy Hines' car that got into the fence very, very hard. The back of it, you can see they're spraying water. Some of the other drivers, they ran through the fire. Several of them ran through the fire as it was trailing down the racetrack. They were trying to get away from the race cars, and they ran right through it and obviously got some hot feet out of it. It looks like they have done a terrific job of getting that out. That blaze was really going big time, and once they got there, they got it out very, very quickly.
There's Jeff Sands, who has gotten out. Kenny Irwin is out of the car. He wasn't involved in the incident.
He's on the right side there. He's just coming up to see how everybody is. That's Tracy Hines, like you said. He's okay standing there.
Man, he took a shot.
He took a terrible shot. He hit that wall awfully hard. When that car of Coletta's, there's Michener up there in the upper left-hand corner, standing there looking at his race car after he got taken into the fence. When Coletta blew the engine through oil, obviously, all over the racetrack, these guys did not have a chance. They got in that oil, bam. You could see that they were having all kinds of trouble just trying to save themselves.
There's Kenneth Nichols, who's out of his car. It was involved. It all started, and when we have a chance to take our breath here and go back and look, it all started when Doug Coletta apparently blew the engine in corner number 2, and that put down probably some moisture on the racetrack and created a very bad visibility problem, and from then on it was just everybody piling into the wall and piling into each other.
Well, obviously Tracy Hines took the worst hit of anybody. I think Michener got into him. Some of these cars back in the back may not be damaged too much. They were just on the brakes trying to get out of the way. As we take a look at the replay.
Here they are coming off of corner number 2 there. They're the first two, and Kalitta's engine apparently lets go.
You can see the smoke. You can see that he's sliding in his own oil. Tracy Hines on the right-hand side. He's already sideways. He's hit it. So is, look at Michener. He went right over Michener's car. When he backed into the wall so hard, the fuel erupted out of that car. Everybody else is coming around here just trying to get stopped and get out of the way. But, boy, there was just too many cars everywhere for people to get around.
You saw Ronnie John Cox in that number 8 car. When he came off the wall, he immediately threw out the steering wheel. Now he begins to unbuckle and climb out of the car. There is Hines, who was already out of the car and running across the track. And again, two things. First of all, everybody had the presence of mind to get out of their cars as quickly as possible. And then you can
see that's Hines right there. His foot is on fire. He stepped in that fuel as he got out of the car, and the fuel got on his feet as you see it running down the racetrack towards the other race cars. They're very fortunate it didn't get to any of the other race cars. Everybody was out of the way because it could have been a lot worse than it was. And
the other thing I wanted to say is, boy, hats off to the fire department here, because they worked there quickly, and when they arrived, they had the thing out.
Man, once they got there, they got it out very, very quickly. It just seemed like an eternity to us sitting up here,
yeah,
but they were there very quickly.
Okay, there's Hines.
Look at the fuel.
Oh, man.
Look at the fuel all over everybody.
There's Nichols up there on the right.
That's Andy Michener who got out of the car first. That fuel was all over him. He got out. He ran the heck out of there right away. John Cox, he got out of his car very quickly, the white number 8 car down there. And you can see Tracy Hines up there on the upper left hand. Watch him just step in the fuel. He steps in it.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
All over the place. And he's running along there. It's his right leg that was on fire as he got down there. And he was rolling around trying to put it out. Yeah, but he was walking in that fuel, and you can see it all over the ground there. It was everywhere.
Kenneth Nichols has come from his car on the far right to see what he can do for Tracy Hines. Here is another angle. Now watch Kalitta spin, get loose, and then behind him, Tracy Hines lose it.
Absolutely no control. He's just trying to keep his car under control. You can see all the oil spewing out all over the place out there behind him. While meanwhile, back behind everybody trying to miss all that fire and disruption in front of them. The guys on back farther actually had a better chance to miss it than some of the others.
Just an absolute inferno. There is Kevin Doty. He's okay, and Dave is standing by with Jeff Sands.
Yeah, Jeff's on the other side of the fence, actually, so I'll ask you to lean in as best you can, Jeff, and give us a first-hand account of what you saw, what happened from your viewpoint.
Well, I was kind of deep in the field back about 10th or back, and I seen the 7-car Tracy Hines and the 2-car Andy Michener get together and get up against the wall, and then there was a heck of a fire. So I spun to avoid sideways to avoid the crash, and I could feel the heat on my back, and I jumped out and seen all the fuel coming down the track. So pretty scary moment, but I think everybody's okay.
That's the good news. Everybody did get out of the car. So thank you very much, Jeff Sands, for hanging with us here for that report. This fence goes all the way around the inside of this NASCAR racetrack. So I'll tell you what, I don't want to be out there anyway. That's a mess. Everybody got out of the cars. It appears nobody's hurt.
Wow, that is good news. I wouldn't doubt but what a few people maybe have some minor burns on their feet, especially Tracy Hines, but there are the 4 main drivers that were involved in the incident, and everybody out. 4 more, Kenneth Nichols and John Cox and Lang, also either spun to avoid or simply stopped when they saw the track blocked by a tremendous amount of flame. Well, there are some cars that are in pretty bad shape, Larry, but the good news is the drivers are all right.
Boy, that is exactly right. It's great that they all got out there, but look at that. That looks awful.
Man, oh, man. Well, we are under red, needless to say, here at Richmond, as a crash has interrupted our midget race. We'll be right back. At Richmond, and the format of the evening has been changed because of this long delay that we have had, a result of the crash in the midget race. What they're going to do is they're going to run the Silver Crown feature race now, 134 laps, and then they will complete the midget feature after the Silver Crown race. A lot of the midget cars were damaged, and the drivers and crews need some time to get them ready to go again, and so that's what they're going to do.
Well, obviously they didn't want to shorten the race. They thought they might do that. The fans didn't like that idea very well, and neither did some of the drivers. So they thought better of it. They decided that this would be the best way to go. Let the race run, but we'll do it after the Silver Crown race while some of these guys get a chance to repair their cars and get them back on the racetrack.